We have done so far like 54,000 individuals counseling, and that brings changes like mental health scenario in Bangladesh. So we can do that, right? And that gives us the confidence to our team as well. At the same time, we have created content in Bangla. So there are many content in English, and most of them are English. We wanted to educate people, to promote the mental health awareness to the people, so people can speak or can share their thoughts to the right people. So that's why we have created many content to bridge between the people to our counselor or to the expert, right? So this is like a place, and this is the one of the channel to reach out the people. And apart from that, we have a research team. We researched like contemporary mental health issues as well as the ongoing issues, and data. We're working on that because in Bangladesh we didn't have enough proper research on mental health topics, right? And apart from that, we have an exciting project with the ready-made garments worker, especially the women worker. We're the first organization and company to work for the workers' well-being in the factory. And we see the huge life-changing impact on their life. And that really motivates us to do more work. And in 2020, we have established a well-being center in one of the factory, Northern Tosifa, in the outside of Dhaka, in Gazipur. And that was like well-being center for the worker. And at the factory, there are like 18,000 workers. So they take the services from that.
Hey everyone, I'm Din Long, the host of Lifeline Podcast, where we are going to have deep conversations with changemakers from all around the world, working hard every day to make the world a better place. My guests share about their journey, what impact they are having, what are their challenges, successes and lessons learned along the way, and I hope you can take away a few things from these role models and apply it to your own journey as a changemaker. If you like this episode, you can share it with 2 of your friends, put a 5-star review or comment on Apple Podcasts, Spotify or YouTube, and of course subscribe to receive every episode and continue learning from all these role models. Alright, let's get started with today's episode and I hope you enjoy. In today's episode, you will meet Tawhida Shiropa, who is a social entrepreneur from Bangladesh providing access to mental health services for all with Moner Bondhu. And she was a former journalist with the Daily Prothom Alo, which is the largest circulated newspaper in Bangladesh. She shares her journey discovering the world of mental health as her mother struggled with depression, and how she started Moner Bondhu to break the taboo around mental health and provide relevant support services to as many people as possible. When you are in crisis, you can count on us is their motto, and they have benefited more than 2 million people in Bangladesh so far by providing counselors, a 24/7 hotline, the first certified online course in Bengali, physical centers in garment factories, and much more. We also go through her career as a renowned journalist for 11 years and how she had to prove herself 3 times as an aspiring writer, as a youth, and as a woman to find success. She has received multiple awards acknowledging her amazing work from UNDP, UN Women, YCLE, Acumen, and many, many more. So I hope that you enjoy this 2-hour episode and see you next time. Cool. Hey, hi, Shiropa. So happy to have you on Lifeline today. I will just start by saying every time that you share with me that you listen to all the episodes of Lifeline. It makes me so happy. I think the best is when I actually interview. I mean, like with this interview, it's like closing the loop, right? So maybe I wonder if you will listen to your own episode since you listen to all the episodes. We'll see. But yeah, no, so happy. I always start, as you know, by reminding a bit how I know my guest. In your case, I don't remember exactly the exact months, but I think I hear from you and Moner Bondhu a lot, like probably every week. There's some updates that Nisha or Aggie from the Youth Club team share with us. But yeah, I had the chance to be involved in some events with you, in some panel discussions where I was a moderator and you were the inspiring guest. So each time we know that wherever you are speaking, that you will inspire everyone. So it's like always good to have you. And yeah, this time I'm so happy because I mainly know you via your work at Moner Bondhu. So we'll speak about this, of course, but also I'm so excited to explore all the journey that led you to Moner Bondhu. So I was stalking you a lot everywhere. So I saw that you were a journalist for 11 years, so it's so cool. So yeah, I mean, we'll speak about everything. And yeah, just to get started, would you like to introduce yourself, who you are, where you are calling from, and just anything that you want to share to start?
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so happy and super excited. And thank you for having me today. And I feel honored, really, because I really love your Lifeline podcast. And you have mentioned, like, I like and love each of your episodes. And that's really brings some motivation for myself as well. And, sometimes I feel low or I feel not well when I see or listen some other people's struggles or stories. And that personally gives me like more motivation, more inspiration to do more impactful work. So thank you so much for having me today and inviting me for this show. And my name is Tawhida Shiropa, and I love my name. Shiropa means champion. So I always mention like I'm a born champion. So the kidding part, apart from that. So I'm the founder and CEO of Moner Bondhu. Moner Bondhu is a mental health care and well-being platform. We're working since 2016 for accessible and affordable mental health care for everyone, for all ages people, for all socioeconomic backgrounds people in Bangladesh. And I think I have a wonderful journey with my career, with my surrounding people. I started my career when I was like 18. So then that time I was started working Bangladesh's leading daily newspaper, the Daily Prothom Alo, and I was the contributing writer first of all, and I didn't have any clue how to write, how to story write. But some of my friends are working there, and they brought me to the newspaper. So to spend more time with my friends. So that's the first thing. I never mentioned anywhere to this story and about the story. And apart from that, I came from a small town. I'm a very small town girl in the northern part of Bangladesh. That is like this very small town, and that town was very peaceful. And we know each other. This small town, the small town story, everyone knows each other. But when I came to Dhaka, when I was 18 for my higher studies, so I didn't know much people in Dhaka. So I think my story, my journey started from there. So, yeah.
Wow, cool. I already have 1 million questions in my mind. Okay, let's start. I love that you mention, your home place, hometown, because I love starting with that. And then I think everything makes a lot of sense then to hear all the journey. But yeah, would you maybe like share what were your Yeah, why? Oh, okay, so I have two questions in one. But the first one is, do you remember or did you have any childhood dreams? You know, things that you wanted to do when you were younger? And then why did you say that your journey started at 18? Like what happened until you were 18?
So basically, when I was in my hometown, I have like always dream. I wanted to be a doctor always. So I don't want to be like social entrepreneur or like a writer or journalist or nothing like that. So I was always very studious, very meritorious student. So I was always placing in classes. So and back of my mind, I wanted to help people and I wanted to support people. That was like my built-in, I think, qualities from my childhood. And when I was 15, and then that time my parents got separated. And I think that's the first thing that's, I feel like devastated, I shattered because I love my parents that time. And when you know, sometimes the life turns you differently, you have to take the, I think, bill to drive it, right? So I'm the elder child of my of my parents, and I know I wanted to support my mom. So yeah, she's a single mother, and this is like, I think that time when I was young and I was going through that adolescent time, and one incident that like bring me more maturity in my life, in my thought process. And my younger brother, he's still, that time he was young, he's 4 years younger than me, and we didn't understand what else things are like going around us. So so that time I feel like I have to support my mom, I have to support my family. So and like all my thinking process, all my one thing or one event bring me to take many decision. And I'm always very friendly but not very expressive. Like I didn't always I always did not properly show my emotions to other people, right? So that was a thing I think I am struggling that time. And I that time I think like I have to do something to support family. For that why I was always, I mentioned, I'm always very studious, very meritorious, and I always my academic result was quite good. So I understand that if I take the higher studies, as well as if I uh, take some like the coaching centers, I think classes, if I do some part-time work, that might be help my family. So and I came to Dhaka. I started my I think new journey because of my mother dropped me a missionary, a Christian hostel. This called is like YWCA, the Young Women Christian Associations. So, and that hostel environment was completely different. My previous experience, like we had like very, I think, small family, and my mother's always she loved me a lot. So I didn't do my own work before that. So, and I have to do everything. And the YWC hostels they have like many rules and regulations. You have to have maintain that, right? And of course, the respectfully. So you have to show respect to other religions, peoples, and others. We are staying there like the 50 girls in the hostel. So everyone have everything is like a maintain is the right, like maintain with a clock, and everything is and I think that particular time it didn't do any other thing on that time, right? And of course I wanted to mention that when I was when my mother brought me here, and when I see the room, it's like 11 people staying in same room. So that was like that was quite difficult initially, the first bed. And my bed is like the bunk bed, so I have to, and they allocated my bed in that upper bed. So I feel like, oh my god, I think when I fall from the bed, and I didn't, and I feel scared. And that day, the hostel supervisor, I think she described all those rules and regulations. And the first night was like, that was different. I think I still I remembered, like I cried whole night. The Without my mother, I didn't sleep one night without my mother. So that was a difficult night. And when I just woke up the next day, and my bedmate, like the who's I think slept in the lower bed, she starts mentioning, Shiropa, if you don't mind, can you just maintain one thing? You didn't, I think, not moving so much when you were sleeping. I was, oh my God, but that's like, that's, I think that's the editing me. Please keep that in mind. And so definitely, sure. And, that is the first thing I think, like, okay, I have not do anything that irritate people, or that like complex any, or create any complex like that to other people. And we have like a open study room, and if everyone read that in silently, so no one can like they're moving or there any kind of issues. So that's the one thing. At that time, I started with I started my higher studies in economics. I got admissions in economics and National University, and at the same time, I started like I think tuition to students, and at the same time, I made some of my friends. They're already working with Prothom Alo, so there's like first and they said me, oh, if you have some time, you can join us. You can explore the thing. I think you can write. So, and I didn't have enough confidence because I read many books. I always read books, but I read articles and newspapers, but I didn't have enough confidence to write anything for the newspaper. So I think I feel very nervous that time. And finally, I think keeping aside all my nervousness, I made the page in church, and she just assigned me 2 articles. She mentioned, like, if you will write this beautifully, then if we publish this, then you can start the contributing part with us. Also fine. And I mentioned, like, I didn't have any clue about that, how to write the good write up or storytelling process. I didn't have any, I think, formal understanding, or I didn't have any clue. I just wrote and I just dropped the write up, and I didn't even I know what else they're going through, what they were thinking. I didn't even call them. So I know that I didn't not much good in write up. So, and one day, so my hostel mate, she said, like, every morning, hey, please go, get up, because your writing is published. So, like, and Oh, and that day I feel so happy. I think, oh, that means they they were thinking about me, so I can write for them. So I think that day was between 2008, 8 April. So I remember that day.
What was your first article about?
Yeah, the part that articles was about a inner emotional turmoil. People couldn't, I think, say express themselves. This is very emotional turmoil. So that was like this is an emotional journey. People always wanted to keep themselves on themselves.
And
So
was it a topic that was assigned to you, or you could choose any topic you like?
no, that topic was like my ex boss. She mentioned like please interviewed some of the people who was going through this type of issues, the emotional type turmoil, and they didn't express in a proper manner, and they keep that on themselves, and uh, that's why they've suffered a lot. So please interviewed and please you have to look out other people on other people. So I interviewed many of them. How was your emotional state? And I was thinking like that. I interviewed my host, and they feel like they were super happy for me. So yeah, that's the thing. And finally I was there like 4.5 years on the hostel, and I got a medal, I think, like award because of I was best roommate. I didn't have any issue with the other girls and women, so I was always very maintain the rules, regulation, and everything. So yeah, and that finally my article published on 8th April 2008.
Wow, 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 wow. So that's so cool. Um, Well, again, you added one. I have another 1 million questions. No, but congrats. I mean, it's very interesting how you illustrate. This is the beginning of your new journey, when you are 18, because first you live with 11 people in the same room, in a new environment. You move to a new city. You study, you work at the same time on totally. So there's so many things to handle. Just overnight. So it's very, yeah, I can imagine, how much it can change you, and how you have all this responsibility. Um, Maybe just to take a step back, um, like maybe why did you want to move to Dhaka? I guess you could have stayed around, your hometown. Since it's difficult, to live without your mom. Yeah, maybe why did you decided, okay, I will study economics. I will study in Dhaka.
So basically, when I'm in the small town where I lived in, that this city didn't have any higher educations, universities or colleges. So I have to move on, and that's the first reason. And I mentioned I always wanted to be a doctor, but and for my parents' issues, that time I didn't I think put proper attention on my admission test. So there's many issues are going through or are having at the same time. So that's creating a huge, I think, mess uh, in my life as well. And so I think if I pursue my, I think, MBBS degree in a private university, I think that will put huge burden to my mom. That's the one thing. And another thing is, the other thing, the MBBS degree is like 5 years for the educational part and 1 year like the internship. So it still means like 6 years. but I didn't have that much time because I feel like that time I have to have pursue my higher education. I feel like as soon as possible, right? If I have not having my completed my graduation, I didn't get like that time. I feel like I didn't get a proper job to support my family. So that's the first. I think these two things. I think and overthinking on that time. So yeah.
Okay. And so you moved to Dhaka. You are both economic student and journalist. So at that time, like, what is your new dream or direction? Like, is it you want to? I know, yeah. What do you want? So like, what are your perspective back then, or did you want to become like professional journalist?
So basically, when I was working in a newspaper, everyone feels like I'm a good writer, and I personally admit that I'm a good writer because my storytelling capacity is different, is like it's very unique, and I didn't think so much. I just wanted to bring the true story that navigate to the country's people to know about the people, right? So that's the one thing I like. I admit that time and accept that. And one of my best quality I have to mention, like when I do anything, I do the thing mindfully. I take this thing very seriously, and I put all my hardship and my hard work on that, and I believe that system and that work, that the only thing I can do. So that was the one thing. And when I was working with Prothom Alo, and everyone said like the country's people in Prothom Alo is a big platform. So now, if each of the people in the country, they know your name. So when they like each and everyone, this is like a very popular platform. So people used to read my article, read my column, and op-ed, and they gave me many feedback, and I'm always open for any feedback. That can be good or that can be any criticism, right? So my, I think one of my skills, like when I was like economics student, I didn't like to, that I didn't choose the uh, purposely the economics. So I think like this is kind of subject. I am very good in math, and so I can do that. So first thing, and I can bunk some of the classes, so I can just make up at the later. So that was the thing, because and in the second year of my career in Prothom Alo, they offered me a contract. So they wanted to me as a contractual staff because I didn't have like proper graduation. So I'm like the second year of student when I was like 18, yeah. So 19. And that time, I like, and I was like, I got some friends in my university. They were super cool, and they helped me a lot to, to my, fill up all my studies. And I worked at the same time. I had like a full-time job. So though it is contractual, but that was like I did my own studies. At the same time, I have a full-time job, though it is contractual. And one thing is I continuing my tuitions. So I did three things at the same time at a time. And that gives me some time. I feel like exhausted, but I love all those things. And I like, and I think one thing I think like, okay, fine. I didn't like that much economics, but though I choose that, I have to have like I wanted to bring some good CGPA, right? So I read I think whole night after coming back from my work. So and my friend helped me to understand the assignments to make a class, and that is the like another thing. I didn't feel nervous when many things are coming on my plate. So I think I did many things at the same time. And yeah, and the economics things like I think I got a good CGPA in my I think honors result, and I got first class in my masters. So yeah, and I think I read a lot. I give I think, and now I think that like, sometimes I remember to this. I think that was really very tough days for me when I feel like that. That was really tough days. But yeah, then I think the all days are some one at point. All days are going, or you overcome all those challenges, right? So yeah.
I felt like, you said everything you do, you try to be the best. I mean, you try to be the best. And well, I felt like it's a case still today, right? I mean, with Moner Bondhu, you try to be the best. But like, what's your secret? Like to be the best? Because you said you do a lot of different things, and you manage to be the best at everything you do, even if it's difficult, even if you didn't particularly like economics, but you managed to be like one of the best students. Like, what is your secret? Because I'm sure like when many people ask themselves, okay, I want to be good at sometimes we feel like we have to choose, okay, whether we are good at uni, whether we focus on our side job, but you manage to focus on both and be good. So like what, and I don't know, any secret you might have.
Now, I didn't have any, I think, secret. The one thing, like, I don't want to be the best. That gives me like, I didn't ever have like the competitive mind. Whatever I do it like in my manner, and wherever the thing, I think I love the work or I love to read. So I think I saw these things like I love that. That's why I do that. I think first thing I always tell myself, because I take this responsibility, because I wanted to take that, because I love that. So these things the quote unquote love things is very important for me. Mm. So yeah. So, but I don't want to be like people like sometimes people are wanted always good in what they wanted to do. I didn't think that much. So I just wanted to like portray me like as I am, right? At the same time, I didn't like, and that time I was young, I didn't have like, I think I didn't think so much, and I didn't have like, I just do and I'm just go with the flow in a good manner. So yeah, and this time and situation sometimes give you so much lesson and learning, and I learned that every day, and whatever I'm doing right now or who I am right now, I think all those learning and lessons give me to reshape myself, what I am today, right? So, and that's the thing. I think the newspaper office environment is quite different. So many people are working at the same time, and you didn't have in Bangladesh. You didn't have women journalist or writer. This ratio is very, I think, ratio is very low, right? The male and female ratio. In our team, we have like two women writer and journalist, and 40 male.
Oh.
40 in our team, like 40 male journalists and writer. And sometimes you have to, my ex-boss, he always mentioned, like, Shiropa, you have to always, when you played in a field, you have to think like two ways or two goals in, I think, one manner or one way, because you are a girl, you are a woman in the city, and as a single woman, as a single girl, that was challenging, right? So you have to prove yourself two times at the same time, being a woman, at the same time being the professional, like being a writer or being a journalist. So that's why the male journalist or writer, they didn't they didn't show to prove at the same time that people can perceive them easily, right? So you have to prove yourself every day. So I think that's the one of the thing, and I learned many things from the newspaper office, and how to deal people, how to communicate with the people. So yeah, that's like those lessons are like very useful for me. I think to establish Moner Bondhu as well. Yeah.
Cool. Also, we'll get back on that. I just have so you joined at 18, like the other journalists or the 40 people. What was the average age at that time of everyone in the office?
When I was started, I think average was like 40. So initial average.
Okay, so it's like on top of 2 women, 38 men. It's also 18 years old in an environment where everyone is 40. So it's also like having to prove yourself 3 times as a writer, as a woman, as a very young person, and you did it. But no, yeah, it's very interesting. I think it's, from what I understand, is not being the best to show that you are better than other people, but being the best to show that, okay, you have a potential and you want to explore how far you can go in one thing, because you like the learning process, you like the effort, the work that is behind, getting better every day. And at the same time, yeah, you have to prove yourself 3 times. Very interesting. And yeah, perfect transition. I wanted to ask you, so you were 11 years. So maybe, again, 2 questions in one, but first, how 11 years as a journalist, how does the evolution look like from, the Shiropa who joined at 18, who was not too confident on her writing skills, to, 11 years later, what has happened during the 11 years? And, what are some of the learnings that you managed to bring to make Moner Bondhu successful?
I think the journey was it's like a boat in I think it's like, the magical carpet. Sometimes you feel like this is like something up and down and up. You feel like sometimes you feel like this is a very surreal experience. Sometimes you feel like very hype. And in the newspaper office, you have to compete with other channels others newspaper. So every day you have to put new idea, new intervention, new, I think, technique, right? And at the same time, you have to lead your team, right? And being a young girl, the other team members' age is like the 15 years older than you, and you have to like that was like one of the like invisible challenge I think I faced. But yeah, my team was super cool, and yeah, I think that's like one of the thing I learned, like how to communicate and how to deal with people, right? So you have to know. So first thing I learned, and I mentioned I was not so confident, and I was not. I was very shy. I feel like, I think I just went to the office and sit in a corner. And at that time, I was not typing in Bangla. I was not able to write, right, in Bangla, in the computer. So one of my, I think, ex-bosses, like, and now I admired him a lot. And he one day he mentioned, like, if you have not learned the writing in Bangla, I didn't publish your article. So and please make it now. And I feel like I think I cried the first time in office. So I have to go hostel on time, and I have to, I think, learn the process on the same time, and all these things. I feel anxious, and I just cried. And my other boss, she just came to me and said, like, if Shiropa, I think, please remember one thing in your entire life. If you cried in your office, then people did not recognize you as a strong person, maybe. But apart from that, the most important lesson is people did not give you the right feedback.
Mm-mm.
So it's your choice what you wanted to choose. And that time I just like, oh no, I didn't want that. And so I wanted to improve myself every day. So I wanted to learn. And that time I think I learned the Bangla typing in one, I think, and in one evening.
Mm-hmm.
And my Bangla typing speed is super fast in Prothom Alo. And everyone mentioned that my writing skill is very super fast, the typing speed. So yeah, and of course, and apart from that, and I always love to, I think, to make friendship with new people, and I love to talk with new people who are coming to our places, like different, they bring different issues, and they've called me, people like every corner of the Bangladesh, they called me. Sometimes they appreciate me, sometimes they show, like, they discuss about their issues. And I think, like, I organized many national events with the newspapers, and everyone, like, whoever I talked with people appreciate my communication skill every time. So they feel like Shiropa is something, they feel like very, I'm like their friend. At the same time, they are very mentally dependable to me, and that gives me sometimes feel like, oh, so my communication skill is quite good, and that is improving. So, and that time I really was focused on my communication skill. How can I to improve the others area? At the same time, I wanted, and I received the Best Employee Award from Prothom Alo. and from my department. And of course, the department was there. They feel very proud of me, and they know my journey, where I come from, and what I have done today. And I received many national awards from for my newspapers, and everyone was super happy with me, and everyone's wanted to work with my team, and they wanted to work with me. Even not in my, I was working in the feature department, but I have the experience. I am the only one that time. The experience I have working with the news team, I think the graphics team, with the photographers, and the others people, and they give me like two responsibility at the same time. Once is like I have to like edit and take the team lead, and to take the team's responsibility, and they put me on one pages like, which is called the Nari Mojo, the women rights and women empowerment page, and this is like a daily page, so you have to work on the deadline. So this is like a and Prothom Alo is like the most circulated newspaper. So this is not thing that you have to work on time, right? On your like within the time how we can process. If you delay, the whole system will, I think, the effect for that. So I always believe in the teamwork. I think that's the one of the thing I learned from that. If the team works well, everything goes well. So that is not like individual things, maybe by the proprietorship, something like that. That I was respectful on that. But if you wanted to bring big impact on people's life, you have to work as a team. You can't do that, I think, individually. So that was one of the things I have learned. And always, if you meet new people gives you new stories, new ideas, I think new perspectives. Whatever like you didn't think maybe before, or like you didn't, I think, see something you didn't wanted to face that. People gives you those experience. So yeah, so all these things I have learned from that, and all this experience, learnings, lessons, love, support, I think everything what I have achieved, and everything I earned, that was my accomplishment. I earned that. I deserve for that. That's why I always, my ex-boss said like that, you deserve it. That's why they give you that. You earn that. So I believe that. So yeah, and this is like so this is something like I always wanted to do something beyond my work. So that's why I always keep the relationships, keep the communication with other people, because not only I think I didn't work for my work only. I did my work, or I think I brought all the stories. So I wanted to, I think, show the world out, show the country. So this is something you have to, I think, focus on it, or you have to experience from that. So that was the thing. I think that's why I always, I think, love people. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, you said earlier that you have this sense of responsibility, right? When you have something to do. And I guess as a journalist, the responsibility is like quite important, especially if you say it's the most, one of like the biggest newspaper, like you have a very big responsibility in the messages you want to convey. Maybe one last question about like related to that is what kind of, because you mentioned like your first article was about difficulty to express our emotions. So throughout the 11 years, like what did you, I don't know, were there like specific thematics that you enjoyed sharing? What were the kind of stories that you were like, that you wanted to share?
Oh, so what I think the most important thing, I got my best friends from there. So this is like my one of the greatest achievement. So yeah, so we are working like my best friend and we are working there. Like we started our career this a similar time, not so big, like 1 or 2 years, like before and after. So yeah, and I learned from that, like you don't need to express all your emotion to everyone, right? So there can be people, like you can put your emotions or you can express your emotion or you can express yourself to the right people. So right people are like not like Moner Bondhu sometimes. So right people can bring some like new thoughts on you, and at the same time they can help out to, I think, overcome the issues, or they can, I think, reshape your things, or they can reflect your own thoughts. It might be wrong or it might be right? So, and your any, and one of the, I think, latest thing I think I have learned from there, like I didn't take any decision, I think, impulsively. So I didn't, but sometimes people are, when they were like angry, or they're like, they didn't, they didn't like perceive the thing what they wanted to see, like, right? I didn't experience the thing. So the people are sometimes very impulsive, right? So they took this decision when they were in not in a good state to take the decision, and your decisions maybe affect other people, right? So your decision, not just your decision. When you work for other people, you cannot think only on yourself. So I think I always like I always perceive things, I think, that way. So this is not my thoughts, not only my thoughts. This is more than that. This is not my, if something is not right for me, I didn't perceive like this whole thing is not the right. Maybe there can be some good stuff. I have to learn from other people. I have to open my mind to listen others people's words and their, I think, their conversation. So that was one of the, I think learning I have learned from my 11 years career. So no, I didn't take any decision when I was in not in a good, I think, state, and not in, especially when sometimes I feel like this is not the right time. If even people ask me, I think, repeatedly, what was your decision, and your decision, I always said to the people, like, please give me some time. Just give me 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Sometimes, the newspaper office, you have to take decisions immediately. You didn't think, so much, right? So I just always say, just give me 5 minutes, 10 minutes, because I took the time, because if things not going like right, so I have to, but I have to make my team to face the consequence, right? So this is teamwork. If your decision affect all your team members, your newspaper, you have to, I think, do that to understand or at least to think about the consequence. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I think it's so important. It's a good reminder that for decisions, yeah, like when we are with our emotions, sometimes it's not the best situation to take decisions. So it's always good to have time to think about it. I just wonder, and then I would love to speak about the transition to Moner Bondhu, but maybe what were you writing about mainly?
So I was mainly writing about the people's story on empowerment, on human right, gender, youth, and mental health. So basically that was like my area of expertise that time.
Okay, because that's good topics.
Yeah.
No, because I don't know. I feel like it's very good topics to share about. I mean, it's very important, and yeah, I mean, you are like a impact journalist already back then. But yeah, is it because you mentioned that you were writing about mental health? Is this the link with Moner Bondhu? Is it something you learn more about because you had to write about mental health?
So initially, the 2012, and from I started my writing on mental, because that time in my pages there is a corner like the confessions box. So every day, thousands of people, I think, they wrote their story through email, sent us through email, through like the letter, the actual letter. They posted the letter, and that was time the Facebook was not that much popular in Bangladesh, but they sent some, I think, and they some to write up through the inboxes, and because of I love to learn, I love to read like new story. So this is a real story. This is not any fiction. So this is real story. So I for the selection process, I always read all those stories. I just then read the envelope and read the stories, check the email. And that time I was thinking like I think I was several times while talking with my bosses and my team member, like, oh, people are suffering very, I think I was thinking like, oh, this is one of those, maybe the burning issue, because people are not comfortable to open their mind, but they have like severe issues. Like, and that time the social media, Facebook, like getting very popular. And when you are not ready for the, I think, new things, but you have the things. So you didn't, I think, understand how you can navigate the social media or relationship or, many things that are, I think, roaming at the same time. So people struggled initially. And we read all this experience from their write-up, right? And we talked. I think that time, I think I have to write because the relationships patterns are changing. Because before that, people was not like the Facebook friendship or the virtual friendship, like the MSN Messenger or something was like that. So people are used, or like the professional conversations, they were doing that through Skype or something like that. or even the WhatsApp was not. I remember those days, like WhatsApp was not that much popular to communicate for the communication. So the mental state are changing because the new things are in your places. So that's why I think I have to write the office. Uh, they gave me the assignment about the Facebook issues, the relationships pattern are changing, mind are changing, So something like you can bring, you can see the others people's lifestyle, and that sometimes give you super complex situation. So yeah, right. Someone we can sometimes like we discussed a lot about like the some of our like friends or even some of the colleagues, they are like they feel low at the same time because they are friends, maybe they are others family member, they portray themselves on Facebook like a super happy, but actually they were not, right? So there's many things, even the uh, harassment, and I think the online harassment that were increasing, and the bullying, people direct send some personal photos to each other. So that's created a, I think, created a haphazard situation at the same time. So, many things are changing at the same time, the selfie things. So there is a new trend in among the youth. So people are having selfie, like 2013, the first selfie was getting popular in Bangladesh. Everyone's wanted to buy a new phone, new gadget who have like good camera, right? So yeah, your lifestyle are changing at the same time in different manner, in different way. So I wanted to bring all those things, a series of, I think, write up to navigate them. And that time I feel like, okay, fine, I have to uh, read on like, I have like, you didn't write a proper article if you didn't have enough knowledge on that, right? And being an economics student, I didn't have like the professional academic experience. So I have to read, I have to interview many psychiatrists, psychologists, and I pursued my office. Like I wanted to do a fellowship on or at least a diploma courses on mental health, because if I'm doing that things, I have to read that. Or without that, I don't want it to bring that topic, because maybe at some point I lose my credibility. So I didn't want to do that. And I'm the office people, staff, they like me a lot and they loved me, so they accept my I think my expectation, and of course I think they allowed me to do the diploma. So I have done 6 months diploma on mental health at times to know and about the basic information. So I think I like the basic terms, so basic terms, basic information. So, and I started writing, and I met many psychiatrists, psychologists in Bangladesh. I mean, think that time the National Institute of Mental Health. Some are the renowned psychiatrists, psychologists. They were working there, and I personally I met each of them to know them, to learn from them, and I always like, I don't want it to write anything that is controversial, that is bring some controversy or wrong messages to the people. So that's why I interviewed them for my write-up, and I think that gives me like more confident to to start Moner Bondhu. Yeah.
It really comes back to when you say, when you do something, you do it, you really try, I mean, you take it very seriously. I really like it. Because you said, okay, I mean, not everyone, I guess, will do a 6 months degree on this to make sure that it's good quality content. But yeah, I recognize a bit myself when you say that, actually, because me, every time, I don't know, this sense of responsibility and taking stuff seriously because it might have a big impact. I don't know, very random examples from my side, but with the movers program, we have to develop a lot of movers workshop on different topics like SDG 14, biodiversity, climate change. And when we started, we developed most of the workshops by ourselves. But then, yeah, there is really this sense of, oh my God, but if we develop a workshop, it's actually it's a huge responsibility because it's something we will share to people, we'll share to other people. So I would spend weeks and months to read everything I find about climate change. Then my head is exploding. But I feel like it's the right thing to do. Instead of, okay, I pretend I understand something and then just do this because we need 10 workshops, so let's just do as many workshops as possible. But no, there is this responsibility. No, I cannot, it's like what is right. So I really like it when you say all of this and that you interview every psychologist, psychiatrist available. So yeah, really like it. And yeah, maybe so you're on this mental health, understanding mental health journey. So you're writing about it. So at what time, at what moment do you tell yourself, okay, I need to start my own project on this?
So in 2015 and that year, one of the, I think, challenging year for myself and for my younger brother, actually for my family. So in 2015, I think my mother was going through a depression, and of course I have the knowledge, I have the awareness, but I admit that I didn't notice to my mom that she was changing, right? Like the behavior pattern, because I was busy with my work. I think that was the only thing. That time I was thinking my family is good, so I can do the work only, right? So the smart career is my first priority, right? So and that 2015, my brother was he graduated from architecture, and both of are super busy with our careers. He started his career as architect, and my career turning. This is a very big time. My career's time is very big. So, and in 2015, one day I think my mother is always not very expressive. She's a calm and quiet type person, very strong personality, but very calm and quiet. So I didn't I think, put enough attention, right, on her. So sometimes I said why you are so quiet? I feel this is something that, but I didn't ask repeatedly or noticing something like that. But one day she feel she's a very pain on her body. She didn't feel she didn't to start appetite. I think starving her loses all this thing, and he feel she didn't he didn't wanted to speak to us something like that, because she's not feeling good, and she was not like, and she felt like some was like she was like very, I think, like disoriented person. I feel like that. So, and when I saw like that, I didn't think already many days are gone. So we have to take her to the doctor. And that journey was began from that point. And I was going, I think I remember that day when my brother and I was going to the doctor, and doctor said like, my mother didn't have enough confidence to walk. And like, I mean, so, oh my God, what has happened? And we didn't understand, didn't have clue, we didn't have proper, proper information, what we can do at this moment. And I speak with lot of doctor, and so her examinations papers or everything, they didn't find anything. So she didn't feel well. So we have admitted her in the hospital, and 1 night, 2 night, 3 nights, and we spent a month hospital to hospital, doctor to doctor. And I feel like that was like a nightmare for us. I didn't used to see my mother like that. And that was the time. And I have to work to the office and perform like others time. I didn't say to the people like, okay, I'm not feeling well right now. I didn't listen to you mindfully. I didn't have that. I was not in that stage. But, the stigma, I feel like, oh, if I say like that, maybe they can, and I mean, they could perceive me differently. So I always like very attentive to show people like, I'm okay. But I was not. I was like devastated, and all those nights, that's like since like still nightmare to me, because I didn't know what we can do or what we should do on the other side. So that was the thing. And apart from that, another issue, we feel like, and after 1 month, so one of the doctor from the ICD Derby, he said like, please bring your mother. I mean, you can visit a psychiatrist. Maybe your mother have any physical issues, but I think she has like something mental issues. Maybe he said like maybe. So you can visit. Do you know someone? Say, yeah, I know. So that time both of my brother and I, we are going to the same day, we're going to the psychiatrist. And when my mother talked with the psychiatrist for the first time, and then I feel like I can see some light on this darkest tunnel. And I didn't see anything on the tunnel, the journey. So for the first time, I can see the light. So, and that was like and my mother, the doctor said, psychiatrist said separately, like she was in deep depression and anxiety to stay alone in the home. Why didn't you understand that? And I admit that I didn't understand. And I don't know, I said like, it's all my fault. So he's like, no, this is not your fault. But you have to have, I think, notice your mom every day from now on. And that was like another journey started from there. So I brought many sketchbook to activate my initial stage. That was like we have like huge fight with my mother. Someday I feel restless. Why she didn't work properly? Why that was the time. Sometimes I feel like what I have. I mean I should do right now. How I didn't wanted to see my mother like that. I think my mind could not permit. I didn't give my mind to see my mother like that. So and all this stuff, such changings, and at the same time, that was two journeys. I was a caregiver, my mother and I. Especially I'm the elder one, so I have I think the more responsibility than my brother. So, the responsibility as a caregiver, that was huge. And as a caregiver, I feel like that sometimes I was not in good state. Sometimes I don't wanted to able to talk to people. So, but I have to work and as a well-mannered every day. So, and that journey, and finally, and all this process, like the psychosomatic, my mother was in a psychosomatic process, the body painful, all these things for the psychiatric issue, and her like the sleep disruptions issues and anxiety, many things, and throughout that time, I learned many things as a caregiver, as a mental health passionate people. So I learned from internet, I learned from the expert, I talked to my other friends who were, I think, studied in the psychology. I think each of them, my mother's doctor were so good, and finally, with all our efforts, my mother overcomes all those challenges, and she seems like the previous one, the strong woman who didn't, who did, who did able to like handle herself, who has like confidence, who has like mindful, I think, strong mind, and for the first time, I feel like that the attention, all those care when someone was going through that, most of the time, not every time, most of the time, people only gave attention to only the patient or only the victim, right? But the caregiver who are who were sometimes in a same pace, all in a different manner might be, but in the same pace. So he or she need the same attention or same care, affection at the same time. So that was my realization for the first time. And I realized one thing, if something like that, some places we can go, or, the struggle, like I didn't stay to keep my mother alone in the home. So I always have to bring someone in my home, and for her, I think accompanying her and something like that. So if a places like that, so people can go there, or they can speak, or they can something like that. And people did not have, if I have like I think like I have enough knowledge, but I didn't have, right? Because people didn't talk about much on this topic. So that's why I didn't understand. If I every day learn from this issue or on this topic, so I can understand on the first phase or initially, but I didn't. So all those things, and when my mother cured from the depression and the sleep issues, and she can handle herself very strongly right now, and the happy person. So, and I feel like, oh, if people seek support, if people get the proper, I think, treatment or proper therapy, people definitely overcome all those challenges, struggles. So that, I think, all those realizations brings me to establish Moner Bondhu. And initially 2016, I started informally, like in January, informally, we just created a website because I have like another job, so I didn't keep so much time on it. So I created a peer support group who are like comes from many different places, and especially I reach out to the right people, like who are creating the content, who are the counselor, and and the right people. And we're doing some peer support group program, and that time we did some workshops on responsive parenting, and in 16 or later, I think later 17, the blue whale game, all this stuff are coming, and parents are like very anxious to like what are the things are going on right now on internet or everything, and we're doing some responsive parenting uh, stuff. And 2016, in late 2016, we registered our organizations, and we started, I think, one step at a time to, I think, to start Moner Bondhu. And then I started. And 2019, I feel like Moner Bondhu, 2019, early 2019, I feel like Moner Bondhu is something that I really wanted to do that, because I love to write. Writing is my passion. But if I quit my job, I can write, right? But I always wanted to support people more than what I am doing right now, because I always wanted to be a doctor, but I always wanted to that, right? So doctor can save people's life. So I think always that things was in my mind. So, and I started, so I was like, that I spent so many years on these places, so I can do what other people do, just giving a notice and quit the job. I didn't want it to do that, because they are one of my family. So they were there for me in my good and bad days. So I just one day I ready myself to open these things to my boss, and I just shared what I wanted to do in my life. And yeah, of course, that was very shocking for them. And they didn't understand, I think, initially, like, the career with the newspaper, that was very glamorous, very secured, and I'm the top star, like superstar writer. Everyone knows me. So this is like they thought sometime like, do you think 2 times on it, or you just made your mind? I just made my mind. So they know me. So I think they understand that, like, if I made my mind, so I think I will do that. So, and they think like, okay, fine, then, okay, fine. So you cannot do that like in a 2 months notice. So you have to stay in 6 months here. And of course, that process, like, that was like, I have to giving all this my responsibility to the others one. And I feel like I'm always there for you. If you need anything, you can just just give me a call. I'm always there for you. So yeah, and then in 2019, finally, and the others people like whenever say like, oh, you can do the Moner Bondhu, they didn't take it seriously. So they feel like, well, you can do Moner Bondhu as a side business or as a hobby or part-time things, extra curriculum like that. So yeah, but I made my mind, and I have a super supportive family. So I didn't, they give enough clarification to them. So I didn't discuss. I just said my brother and my mother, like, I wanted to quit the job to start Moner Bondhu, and I wanted to do that. And my family have always enough trust, enough belief on me. And then they're like, okay, you can do. And even some people said like, oh, you didn't have, like, if Moner Bondhu doesn't work properly, what should you do? I mean, like, this is like a super bad decision you have taken in your life. So, and and my mother always said like, if you take the wrong decision, if you those I think take the decision, make it right way. So I always keep that on my mind, like, and said like, okay, fine, I have knowledge, I have the communication skill, I have like academic, I know even the academic certificate. If Moner Bondhu doesn't work, I can do anything. But I didn't, I think, keep any regret in my life. I wanted to do that. So yeah, I'm kind of like quit my job and started Moner Bondhu fully. Yeah.
Cool. Wow. Wow. No, so many lessons learned from everything you shared. I think, yeah, first how brave you are, I guess, like quitting, as you mentioned, very glamorous, very comfortable position, not only financial or whatever, but also the prestige that comes with it. To try something, people don't really believe in it yet, but you really believe in it. I think it takes a lot of courage, to say, to reach this point where you're like, okay, I need to be full time on this. I need to see until where I can bring it, and also, yeah, I think very interesting. I mean, I felt like the mental health issue has so many layers. The first one is, I mean, the depression, the anxiety, the toxic positivity on social media, so many things, and then the other layers are. It's difficult to identify because there is lack of awareness, lack of what can I do actually if I have this, or if my friends or family have this, and then another layer which is mental health of the caregivers. It's so interesting that you mentioned this, and yeah. So you start Moner Bondhu, then you become full time 2019. So there is peer support group, articles, and contacts of mental health professionals. Obviously, COVID happened, I guess, a few months, like 1 year after you became full time. So it changed completely, even made the problem of mental health much bigger. But today, if we look at Moner Bondhu, there's so many things that you are doing. Maybe could you, like an overview of, Moner Bondhu today. What is it? What's available? What is everything that Moner Bondhu is doing?
Right now? So yeah, Moner Bondhu, of course, we started our journey in a one step at a time. And we always wanted to make sure to the people, to the professional counseling, right? We didn't give the people like the counseling who didn't have the proper, I think, certification or experienced. That was like we started when it's like very small. That time we wanted to make sure that. And one another thing is the confidentiality and the judgmental issue, no? As a society. So if you didn't keep the confidential information, people didn't have enough credibility to you, right? They didn't show the credibility, they didn't trust you. So trust is a very important thing at the same time. And at the same time, sometimes we are assuming people to listen their words, to see their body languages, or sometime the socioeconomic background or something like that, you know. But maybe he didn't see the proper quality of this human being or something like that. So sometimes we're very, I feel like we're very judgmental to the people, you know. So and all those things, that's why we wanted to keep these values on, to put our core values. Like we always wanted to make the counseling in a confidentiality manner. We wanted to keep people the professional counseling from the expert, and we maintain the, I think, the non-judgmentally the conversation to our client, to each of one, and we wanted to practice in our daily life, right? So, and apart from that, we always maintain to show the mutual respect to the people. I think whatever their background they are coming from, or what are their community, that really doesn't matter to us, right? So right now we're providing the one-to-one counseling in person, online, and during the pandemic really changes our like the business models, our like the way of thinking, right? So we have done so far like 54,000 individuals counseling right now, and still that are going, that with the support from the UNDP Youth Collab. That was like a, when like that was a support, like what are like the true friend have given to you, right? When the moment you need the support, they were there like as a true friend, right? And I'm really, really not like, each of time I like really, I appreciate and I'm grateful for the support. And that brings changes like mental health scenario in Bangladesh. So we can do that, right? And that gives us the confidence to our team as well. At the same time, we have created content in Bangla. So there are many content in internet, like in English, and most of them are English, but like others languages as well. But most of the people are Bangladesh, are like they're in Bangladeshi. So we wanted to educate people, to promote the mental health awareness to the people, so people can speak or can share their thoughts to the right people, or to the, and they couldn't feel like, if I have like mental health issues, I'm like alien, you didn't know. So that's why we have created many content to bridge between the people to our counselor or to the expert, right? So this is like a bridge, and this is the one of the channel to reach out the people. At the same time, we have created knowledge-based tools like the assessment tool, like the self-questionnaire. So you can that can like provide you the assessment to yourself, or you can see where you are right now. What are the support? Yeah, I think you should seek from the people. So yeah, and apart from that, we have a radio show and we have aired like almost 500 episodes, and we started it yeah, from 2016 September, the radio show, and that was a very popular radio show. So like a podcast, and this there were two hosts and one expert. They were there, and people can ask questions. And that was initially that was like a radio show, and eventually people wanted to see the expert. So that was like right now we are showing them on Facebook as well, like a live show. So people can ask questions, and we have a television show on I think on a Nagorik TV. This is one of the popular TV channel, private TV channel, and that we wanted to, I think, bring those show because some of the people they didn't listen the radio, but some of the people they are like watch the TV, so they can questions to our counselors or experts to resolve their issues from any part of the country, right? So, and apart from that, and we have like we have a research team. We researched like contemporary mental health issues as well as the right ongoing issues, and data. And we're working on that because in Bangladesh we didn't have enough proper research on mental health topics, right? So we wanted to do that. And apart from that, we have a exciting project with the ready-made garments worker, especially the women worker. We've always wanted to take pride because we're the first organization and company to work for the workers' well-being in the factory. And so far we have provided 18,000 to provide to the 18,000 IMC worker, and we see the huge life-changing impact on their life. And that really motivates us to do more work. And in 2020, we have established a well-being center in one of the factory, Northern Tosifa, in the outside of Dhaka, in Gazipur, and that was like well-being center for the worker. And at the factory, there are like 18,000 workers are working on this factory, so they take the services from that. And apart from that, we have right now we're providing the with the funded by UNDP, we're providing the 1,500 female entrepreneur to build their capacity, to make sure their well-being, and some of the thing to aware themselves on mental health issues or self-care, right? So 1,500 women entrepreneurs and UNDP's Anandamala platform, through the UNDP's Anandamala platform. And also we have we're working with the migrant worker with a different project. And another thing is that we have like we have partnered with different organizations for their staff's well-being and workplace well-being as well. That we're increasing right now, and the startup Bangladesh Limited, the startup Bangladesh invested Moner Bondhu, and to develop the whole structure of the country's mental health issues, to bring new intervention, and we are working on that right now. And yeah, of course, we wanted to create more impact on people's life, truly.
Wow. Wow. How many are you in the Moner Bondhu team?
Oh, right now we have like 25 full-time people, and 10 are like contractual to work with the 35. And many of the people who are like working with us in a contractual and on-demand basis.
Okay. Well, no, it's amazing. Yeah. So anyway, it's like you are at the individual level, at organization level, at systemic level, at everywhere. I know it's very impressive. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know what to say. It's so very, very impressive. Like everything you do, the impact that you have and will have, and how. I mean, you mentioned, yeah. Okay, you mentioned like the mental health lens. I don't know if it's the right word, but landscape or awareness has changed over the years. And yeah, like from what I hear, yeah, like you are really the organization who's really been behind all of this. So yeah, it's amazing. Like, and I really like when you say because when we look at Moner Bondhu now, if I had asked this question first before everything, it might scare people as oh my god, they are doing all this stuff. It's so amazing, but you mentioned we started step by step. We started with just as few things, and it's crazy how fast you guys started to do all of that. So yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Like through this journey of Moner Bondhu, I don't know, was it how did you manage to, because I don't know, it sounds easy, like when you share that, like we started, we had this, now we have all of this, but I guess it wasn't. Was it? I don't know. I mean, you will say no, but was it easy, or like how was the journey? Like, did you ever think of giving up? Did you ever doubt that you would arrive there? And maybe do you think that you found success yet? For me, I think you do, but like in your personal opinion, like do you think you still have a long way to go next?
So honestly speaking, of course, when you uh, crossed a path, so of course there were like ups and downs. There are like many unwanted circumstances. It didn't like, so like COVID or like other thing. So you couldn't control that, right? Or something like that. So, and at the same time, of course, I didn't feel like we are successful, but in that way we're successful. I feel that because we wanted to reach to people. We always wanted to do that. People knows, I think, our name, and they can seek support, right? So still the journey is, we have a long way to go, right? But the journey already it has started, right? So the journey has started. That's I think the biggest step. I feel like the biggest success. If I mention, like sometimes I think we were thinking so much, and we didn't start our journey. Sometimes some people did that, but we have started our journey, and the journey is continuing, and we are on the road. So yeah, of course, and of course, through this road, all the roads will not be smooth, will not be perceived as we wanted to see that, right? But if we prepare ourselves for all those circumstances, all those like the I think the smoothness versus the tough or rough times. So yeah, then maybe we can't deal the issues in a good way, or in a, I think that wouldn't be, I think, give hurt to many people. So yeah, that's the thing. And the success, I've always says, like, I believe in teamwork, right? So if team doesn't work well, you couldn't do, I think, individually performed well. Maybe you are the leader. You have to, like, as a leader, sometimes, like, as a team leader or as a leader, I always think, like, I have to do some things that gives team to, I think, the inspiration or something, the motivation or navigation to do the, I think, the work in a right way, right? Or I can just bring themselves as under the same umbrella. This is like our vision, where we can share the same vision, right? If your teammate didn't have the same vision, you can't, at the end of the day, you couldn't perform well. You couldn't, I think, overcome the tough time. This is the, like, team. You couldn't do that. I think individually you'll face all these things. But if you didn't, I think I'm supposed to say, like, if we didn't give the proper counselor, maybe I'm a good leader, maybe I'm a good, I think, boss, but my team doesn't work properly. So I think there was, like, a risk to lose our client. So people can lose their faith on us. So it's like a teamwork. So I always believe that I wanted to bring themselves in same place to share the same vision. So our same vision is, like, we wanted to bring changes in people's life in a good way. We wanted to help people, right? We wanted to help people to provide the proper professional psychosocial counseling to bring changes there people. We wanted to be there for themselves in their, like, tough time, so people can perceive us as their friend of their mind, right? So if that's all the team members, all the team, if they, I think, feel like that, realize that can, I think, that can be a proper, or like this is something like you can share, like, a collective vision. So that brings you, like, a create a, like, really a better place for the other people, right? So yeah, that's why we're working here. We're working for
How
the
do
people.
you make sure that your team is aligned with the collective vision?
So that's why we do the supervision sessions each of the month by an international expert. We give them a well-being leave to maintain their self-care as well. And apart from the other sleep and when leave and everything, we do weekly meeting, and they can talk about, like, anything. So this is kind of a all session to share their issues, struggles, and something like that. And another thing is, they can take the well-being session from the senior counselor, from the expert, once in a week, right? And we do many teamwork training as well. And we celebrate like each of the occasion. So each of the occasion. So we celebrate everyone's birthday, we celebrate everyone's like anniversary and something like that. We celebrate each of our like the Valentine's Day to New Year to, and we're not only we're working here for the work, right? This is like a team's like a, I think, a collective community, right? So we celebrate our life. And this is like a mental health organization. When you see like someone feel low, and then this is place you can share. So we assured them to that. If someone say like not in a, sometimes we didn't accept the some words what are not like the what you didn't wanted to hear, right? So, but this is a place you can share. But maybe you might be wrong. You might be wrong, but you can share. So if you have any doubt, if you have any confusion, you can write, you can say. Then our work is to navigate you in a right way. If you feel like you are wrong or you might be saying any wrong words. So, and apart from that, we provide them the training, and we have like a ethical code of conduct. And so all the staffs in Moner Bondhu, not only the counselors, and including me, I have bound to maintain all those code of conducts to maintain the issues. Even when we're going to signature to the environment's principles, like WP's principles. Before that, when environment sent us mail, like you are selected for the process, or like you have to have the signatory of the WP's principles. Before the signing, I call a meeting and I explain to everyone, this is not my signature. Of course, I represented from Moner Bondhu. That's why I have signed there. But if each of you are aligned with this principle, if you feel like you maintain those principles, the 7 principles, then I can do that, not before that. This is not like my decision. So please read that carefully, mindfully, and then send me your decision. Are we able to maintain this or not? If not, then we can't do. We didn't want it to show everyone like we are like if WP is signatory. No, this is not like that. And then so the most of the time, some of the things I always listen to them mindfully, always. And that's the one thing, like I have a very open mind. I can take any rejection, any criticism, and any, of course, like I think anything I can accept that. My mind is ready to accept that. Maybe people would not be aligned to my vision, but this is not my vision. This is not Shiropa Appa's vision. This is like Moner Bondhu's vision. This is a collective thing. Organization, maybe one person represents organization. That doesn't mean Moner Bondhu and Shiropa Appa is like the same. No. Organizations is really bigger than a person. That's why this is called organization. So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. It's so interesting. For me, there's two things that are really like. Is the first one is what you just said about the collective vision. Is that it's not your vision; it's everyone's vision, and it comes back, I think, to when you always say, "I love meeting new people, receiving the new ideas." And I feel like in Moner Bondhu, like everyone, as you just said, when they come, do they agree to the vision? Is there anything? Your vision evolves with the people who join the adventure. And I think this is very important to give like ownership to everyone. And the second thing I really like is when you speak about emotions and that people are welcome and encouraged to share how they feel. Because in many organizations, you have some sort of mask where you have to hide your emotions. But the thing is, you are still the same person. And your emotion will obviously affect how you feel today at work, how you work. So this mask is it's just hiding behind the mask. Maybe because the organization don't let people share their emotion and they give a mask to everyone. But in your case, there is no mask. You acknowledge that people are the same, in their personal life and professional life, that they have emotions and they can share it and people care about each other. So I think it's very important to highlight. And maybe also because you as a mental health expert, I, I, I just have a question. Maybe people ask you this like all the time. But maybe what are your own practice, routines, tips, tricks, secrets, recipes that you do for yourself, to preserve your well-being and mental health?
So in every Moner Bondhu, everyone take the well-being sessions. So of course I need to take, and of course I take the well-being sessions as well from the expert. So to declare, I think I think to all that reduce all this, I think negative emotions or something like the stresses, everyday stress and all of that. So yeah, and that's the one thing I have done and I'm doing like every month. So that is the thing that others people what they are doing right here, and I did the same manner. And apart from that, I mentioned I do meditation and listen music and podcast. And that was like if I didn't like, so listen the music, I think I can't, I think breathe, I think properly. So that was like I believe in me time. So, and every day, whatever happened, I just keep like 5 minutes for myself to spend 5 minutes to me, I think. And I reflected my own works every day. Whatever I have said, I have I have done anything, sometimes. And one of the thing, if I might wrong, or if I did wrong, or if I, did something not in a good manner, I always say sorry first. I didn't have any ego. So that was the that gives me less stress. So yeah, I admit if I were wrong, I admit my, I think, fault, or I admit my lackings or shortcomings. And I always try to move on to improve myself every day. If I say like, if things doesn't work properly, I never ever blame the situation, you know. So, and I learned it. I have learned it from my coach to how to move on and to improve yourself better every day. So, and I think I'm built in, I'm very friendly. So, yeah, I like to talk people. and and like, I didn't feel sad, I think, in a longer manner. And, you know, I love to smile. I always, and, I always love to spend time with my family, friends, and of course the teammates. And yeah, and I am trying to maintain the healthy lifestyle from the last 6 months. But yeah, this is like a difficult job for me right now. But I'm trying. I don't want it to give up, so I'm trying. And yeah, so yeah, this is I think all I have done so far. And yeah, I always wanted to like, I love people, and without any expectation, without any, I think like, yeah, expectation. I love people. I'm a very people person. So yeah, I love people.
Cool. So a lot of things to preserve your well-being. Let me highlight the 5 minutes a day to reflect, me time, that maybe the listeners can also, take away with them and try to do. And 5 minutes might not seem too long, but it's difficult to take 5 minutes of your day. Yeah, like most of people don't do it. So yeah, try. Cool. It's been 2 hours already. I love it. We'll just end with my 3 questions that I always end with. The first one is, okay, let's go a bit back in time. You are 18. It's your first day in Dhaka. Maybe you have cried already, maybe not. So you can meet the younger Shiropa who just arrived in Dhaka, and you can tell her something. What would you tell her?
Life is adventure, and you are the driver to navigate this adventure. So ready yourself and move on.
I love it. I have to share with you one of my favorite quotes. Well, it's I don't know the exact wording, but it's something like there are 1,000 different definitions of the word adventure. Adventure is itself a dictionary of our life. And I really like it because it says basically that there are as many as adventure as there are people. We can all live an adventure in our own way. We should not let people tell us what kind of adventure we should take, because it all depends on us. And we are the captain of our adventure. So I love your advice to younger Shiropa. I really agree with it. Okay, now we look at the past. Let's look a bit at the future. But how do you want people to remember you for and to know you for?
Okay, so I think remember for myself that I was always there for them whenever they have like good times or bad times. I'm always there for them. And when they are with me, they feel loved. So that was the thing. And of course, and this is connected to the mental health. So, and if I will not be there on time, maybe they will remember the Moner Bondhu, and Moner Bondhu, I think, here years, 2 years, 100 years, 1,000 years. The vision we have established just started, and people take this vision or the mission to their life. They are keeping those vision year to year. Yeah, I think life is simple.
Cool, I really love it. And how would you describe yourself in 3 hashtags?
Kind, courageous, smile.
Wow, I love it. Cool. And my really last question, but yeah, how can people in general, support the mission of Moner Bondhu or support your mission? Why should people and how can people contact you if they want to do anything with Moner Bondhu?
Okay, we are always welcome to new people to Moner Bondhu. I think in any manner, like people can always, we're people's friendly organizations, and we're their friend of their mind. So anytime anyone can reach out to us through our website, and if people just write our name Moner Bondhu on the Google, they can find out us. And at the same time, they can reach out to me through my Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, or they can find Moner Bondhu through Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
Oh, TikTok also, wow.
Yeah, we are on TikTok now.
Oh.
So yeah. Okay, so and we have a helpline number, so people can reach out to a helpline, and we have like a 24/7 helpline, so people can reach out to us through the helpline, and of course they can write email anytime from anywhere.
Cool. The helpline is for people in Bangladesh, right? Only.
Yeah, people in Bangladesh. Most of the others people, they can phone, they can call us through the WhatsApp. So yeah, so we have different number who have like WhatsApp number, so people can call us through the WhatsApp in a particular time.
Okay. Cool. Thank you so much, Shiropa. It was very amazing, super inspiring episode, recording discussion with you. Really loved it. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many things to take away from how you just try to learn, be better at anything you do every day. How everything you do, you got some learning that you brought to the next phase of your life, and how, yeah, you genuinely care about people, about the impact that you can have, and that, yeah, I don't know, like so many inspiring stuff that I need to process as well. But cool. No, everything you mentioned, I can put links, in the description of the episodes. I will do that. Thank you so much. I think it's such an important episode as well to speak about mental health. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me today, and I really enjoyed and loved all the conversation. Yeah, so, thank you. And thanks for always giving me so much inspiration and motivation to do better work. Thank you. And always believing in me.
Congrats for listening until the end of this episode. Of course, to best support Lifeline, you can share this episode to 2 of your friends and subscribe to the next episodes on any platform. See you next time!